It's showtime.
Hey, welcome to Did You Watch Survivor Last Night? This is the only Survivor podcast for compassionate haters, and we know there's a lot of them, and people just don't feel represented in the podcast community, but that's where we come in, the official Survivor haters. My name is Jake Scheidel. Each week I ask my best friend Thomas Bell if you did indeed watch a certain reality show. Hey, Thomas, how's it going on this Marquesas Monday?
It's a great time for haters. Survivor's on. If you're a hater, it's a hater's delight. There's a new Kendrick Lamar album out. It came out. There's also a new Father John Misty's kind of a hater. There's a new Father John Misty album.
You want to hear my take on Father John Misty? Speaking of haters, I don't care for him.
Oh, I'm actually going to go see him in February.
Oh,
I'm a fan.
What a surprise! I also love Whitney and Old Pine Grove.
Yeah, okay. I'm not that big. I'm not a fan of Pine Grove, but whatever.
Oh well, I am. There's like one or two songs I like by that band.
Yeah, they're whatever. That's fine.
They're not a band I keep up with, but they are in the genre of sad boy indie rock, which I do love. Do you want to do a new segment called Sad Boy Indie Rock?
No. We've just done it. That's the first and only iteration of it. But anyway, we're talking about hating right now. We're not talking about sad boy stuff.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, do you think that if we thoroughly defeated Jeff Probst, he would try to sue us like Drake is trying to sue Kendrick Lamar's record label right now?
I didn't know he was doing that. That's so funny.
It is maybe the biggest L. It's one of those things that it's like, I know that we already knew who won that feud, but like this is about as thoroughly as anyone's ever been defeated. So
Drake Bell, call him Lake Bell because he took an L, right?
Yeah, because this guy is in. Oh God, what's something like Bell's in?
God, I definitely know.
Wet Hot American Summer?
Yeah, probably. That's pretty funny. The thing about Drake and Kendrick that happened in my life recently, I was invited to what I was told was a celebratory ceremony for a member of the extended family. And I said, yeah, we would love to be supportive. So we went. It turns out it was a scheme to get us signed up to a multi-level marketing business.
No, you got to watch out for that.
Yeah. But here's the thing. They did tell us that this company produces more 6- and 7-figure owners than any other company in America. And I said, that's a normal way to say that rich people exist.
That's crazy, dude. And like, you're definitely going to be one of those.
Yeah, 100%. And they also had 8 regional vice presidents in this one office. So that seems weird. That's a lot of vice presidents for one region. Anyway, the initial speaker came up to what's the really oh my God, I feel so old. What's the really popular Kendrick song that came out this year that like
they come out to Not Like Us?
Not Like Us, and specifically the part where he yells A minor. So why would you walk up to that song?
It's a weird thing to come out to.
It was so funny. It was a great time. And it was really nice because I was indoors during a rainstorm. So that was a pro.
And now you've got a great business opportunity to pitch me and all of our listeners.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get in on the ground floor, everybody.
Yeah, I will say our voice does matter because remember a few weeks ago I said, let's get up to 100 subscribers on YouTube specifically. And since then, we've gained 3 subscribers. So, and that's only YouTube specifically. I don't check the stats anywhere else. There could be hundreds upon thousands of people listening to this podcast right now. Anyway, they came here to listen to us talk about Survivor, and this week's episode was called Loyal to the Soil. What do you think of that?
You know, I'm loyal to the soil. I'm always saying it. I'm often reminded of it as a saying that I use.
Yeah, because it's from Michigan. We all say it in Michigan. Can you quick look up Loyal to the Soil, where it comes from, who said it, if it's a Kyle original?
Well, it's not. It's an Andy original, if it's an original, because he's the one that brought it up.
Can you look up Loyal to the Soil and see if it's an Andy original or if it's a phrase that already exists? Shows you how much I pay attention while watching this show. And I watched the episode twice.
There's a Loyal to the Soil song by Dame Dalla. featuring Lil Wayne.
Okay. So it
Which
does
if I
exist.
remember correctly, yeah, Dame Dollar is Damian Lillard. I forgot that he does
Oh,
raps.
he does raps just like Kobe and Shaq did back in the day. And who's another? Oh, this is going to be a great addition of Remember Five Guys in the future. I'm going to find five guys who've done rapping. And
So it seems like there's like a few things like that come up when you Google it, but it does not seem like a common idiom, which is what I thought. Because my immediate thought was Andy just made that up.
I like it because it rhymes and it makes for a good episode title.
It
So
does. It does rhyme.
Genevieve apologizes to Teeny, who is extremely upset. Genevieve isn't trying to get attached to anyone emotionally, but can't help it. It's the game.
This was stupid. This I hate. This is my least favorite thing that happens at Survivor, where you have a fucking therapy session because you're playing the game. Like, shut up.
Why do you hate people showing emotion?
It's fine to feel a certain way, but I just hate so much the idea that like it's so funny to be like, this thing that I did that fucked you over. I just really didn't want to hurt your feelings. And you're gonna have to make a tough choice at some point too. It's like if anybody ever says that to me while I'm playing Survivor and they try and phrase it that way, it's like, well, you're not trustworthy. I'm never trusting you again.
So you are gonna play Survivor, is what I'm hearing from that.
Yes.
Ooh, we finally got it on record. All right. Genevieve and Teeny recognize that their relationship will have to end at some point soon. This was
It's
sweet.
Survive like I just this annoys the shit out of me. It's Survivor.
Yeah.
It's not called making friends.
The next morning, Teeny apologizes for freaking out, and everybody tells them, "You didn't really freak out. You were just being emotional." And
And also, it's reasonable to be on edge after being left out of a vote and having one of your closest allies blindsided.
hey, as long as they're not on the edge of extinction. Do you remember the edge of extinction from like 5 or 6 years
Yes, I
ago?
remember the edge of extinction. And I also remember that I wanted you to do an edit of the song Edge of Glory where you put extinction in, and you wouldn't do it. So
Oh,
I don't
oh,
like hearing
fuck!
about it that
I
much because
totally forgot. I'm so sorry. I didn't do that.
you wouldn't have Edge of Glory be one of the songs.
I'll get right
And
on that.
yeah.
Do a hype
I think we
reel.
had Extinction by Parquet Courts as one of the songs, but we could have
That's
had both
another
of
band
those.
you love.
I do love Parquet Courts.
That was a bottle opening, and it's called Infinity Hero from Revolution Brewing. This is a segment called Bottle Check.
Popping bottles in the ice like a blizzard.
Thomas, what are you drinking?
What kind of beer? What kind of beer is that?
It's Next Gen Hops Juicy Citrus Character IPA.
Not enough of those out
Yeah,
there. When I'm looking for beers, I'm like, there's just not enough juicy IPAs. And what would be even better is if it was a hazy IPA,
Oh,
because there's not enough of those neither.
can't get
Um,
enough of that.
Yeah, give me some of that. I'm drinking a zero sugar Verner's right now, and it is wonderful.
That's
And it's
nice.
pure Michigan,
That is pure
just like
Michigan.
Kyle.
Just
You
like
know who's loyal to
Kyle.
the soil? Verner's.
That's right.
You know why? Because it's got some deep roots. That loyalty's got some deep roots.
Absolutely. Um, Genevieve says the tallest blade of grass gets cut, and she grew a lot yesterday. Pretty good metaphor, don't you think? Should have saved
Yeah,
that
no,
one for
that's solid.
what's it called?
I don't
Travel
know.
Council.
I feel like more than ever, every single talking head is someone going into business for themselves.
What do you mean?
Too many people going into business for themselves. They're trying to put themselves over.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I mean, yeah, but it's also Survivor, and remember, John Morrison did literally play Survivor, and so did Ashley Massara, and
John Morrison wasn't doing this shit. He wasn't cutting promos. He was out there living his life, having fun, being in the moment,
yeah,
doing parkour.
parkour courts.
Yeah, Parker Courts.
That's what they should have called themselves. They would have been more famous. I like to think that every band's exclusive sole purpose is to get as famous as possible.
Yeah, that's right. There's one thing I know about the band Parquet Courts. It's that they are really trying to be the biggest band in the world.
They're like, we want to be Sabrina Carpenter for Midwest white
Yeah.
boys.
I want to be doing Drake streaming numbers.
Yes. More like lake streaming numbers these days.
Yeah, am I right?
Yeah. Uh,
Because of all of the streams and rivers that connect to lakes. They're called tributaries. I don't know if you knew that.
yeah, I did actually. I actually did know what tributaries were. And I actually saw a photo on the internet the other day, and it was a photo and not an illustration of all of the tributaries of the Mississippi River across the country. And it was
There's a
really
lot of
cool.
them.
It was so many of them. It was like half the country.
Yeah, the Missouri River, that's the largest tributary.
We're pivoting. We're not talking about Survivor anymore. Now this is Sir River. Sir River is the new name of this podcast.
Yeah,
Where,
well named.
where we are gentlemen about rivers and their tributaries. I think it's
Better believe
good.
I'm talking about the Monongahela.
Okay, so Sam wants to take out Genevieve because she's good, but Andy recognizes he's got the power over Sam this time in their relationship. Interesting how that shifted, huh?
All this real power that Andy has by just this is gonna blow up in his face.
What are
I
you
feel like every
talking
single
about?
conversation he's starting to do Rome stuff. And I
Oh
think
my
he's getting a
god.
little too. Did you like the editing montage they had of the spider thing with
I
him?
thought it was so cool. I thought it was so good. Here's the thing about that editing montage that they did for Andy. It was not built in a day.
No, it certainly wasn't.
That took
But
at least 2 days.
that was their "you are watching a master at work" montage for
Oh,
him as he was basically just like having conversations with people.
this is when he called himself a pendulum in the game, which, if there's one thing I know about pendulums, it's they're always ascending.
Call this guy Ricky Gervais because he thinks he invented lying.
I feel like we're good for that joke at least once a season from you.
Look, every so often you got to break out the invention of lying
It's
reference.
a
It's
good
very
bit.
important.
That should go on our movies to watch list because
That's my Mars need. That to me is to me as Mars Needs Moms is to you.
are you saying that I love to reference Mars Needs Moms?
Yes, you do love to reference Mars Needs Moms.
This is the first I'm hearing of this.
You referenced it in one of our winning show titles. I feel like it comes up a lot on here because whenever we do the episode title
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
thing, there's a Mars Needs Moms joke that you did in there.
Yeah, but that was like 8 years ago now. And I haven't
So
made a Mars Needs
you're
Moms joke
saying
since.
it like you're saying it consistently. I don't
Yeah.
know. I think you've definitely referenced it a lot more than I've referenced the invention of lying. So
I don't think so. I think this right now is the invention of you lying right now to me.
call me Ricky Gervais because I'm acting like I invented lying.
Okay, so now Rachel and Andy are officially aligned after whatever, 18 days or whatever of playing together. They're finally working together for real this time. That's nice. No take on Rachel
Yeah,
and
sure.
Andy together?
Jake,
Okay.
no, Jake, you know what I feel about this? You know what I was thinking while I was watching the first part of this episode?
What's that?
There is so much. Survivor has always had a bunch of misdirection before the immunity challenge, but it is so much more grating because they do it for 30 minutes an episode now.
Yeah.
And almost none of it matters.
Yeah, they love chaos now. And like I always say, I love chaos too. It's very fun. We play Bang. I throw the dynamite card out every single time immediately because I think it's funny. Everybody hates me because of it.
I love breaking out the dynamite card, but this is different. They made the episodes longer, and all that they added was this bullshit. Like they're not
Excuse
using
me.
the time efficiently.
This is advantage erasure that I will not stand for. And journey erasure I will not stand for.
Yeah. Oh, that other good stuff that I like.
And the one scene of camp life we get a season these days.
Crazy. You get none of it. It's just this bullshit.
Okay, so let's talk about this reward challenge. 3 teams of 3 have to sliver up the sand and move a ball with their head and then roll the balls into 3 holes.
I liked this challenge.
Okay.
There was one part about it that I didn't like, and it wasn't really anything to do with the challenge. It was more of an editing thing. Do you
Oh,
know what I'm talking about?
I believe I have a note on it coming up. Yes. The winners go to the sanctuary where good things happen. And they get wraps, salad, fruit, juices, iced tea, cookies, and cream cake. Wraps, who's there? Chris Noble?
Raps, raps, and iced tea. What is
Whoa,
this?
whoa, whoa.
Iced tea's rap career?
Whoa, what is this? Law and Order SVU is on CBS now? Kyle uses his shoulder, and everybody eventually adopts this strategy. I felt like that Vine where that woman was on a date with a mannequin. And I said, "Is this allowed?" You remember that one?
I do like that one. That
It's
one's good.
one of the best ones.
Were they not allowed to like flip onto their back and kick the ball forward? Nobody tried that.
Yeah, which tells me that they couldn't do that, and they also had to.
I think that they had to be on their stomach, but
Yeah, kind of a kinky challenge when you think about it.
well, some people took it that way.
Yeah.
Some people decided to go in that direction.
Andy bit the ball. And he's a
It wouldn't have
bisexual, so he
been-
was all into that and
okay,
shit.
I wasn't gonna take it there, but
Okay, well, you didn't need to. I was.
That's right. Okay. But here's the thing. I think that this would have not really registered that much with me if the editors hadn't done the absolute slowest motion
Yep.
close-up edit of this possible.
It was so funny.
Cringing watching it. It was unpleasant.
And, I feel like we haven't really addressed the weirdly sexual, or at least, horny edit for Andy this whole season. This is, the third or fourth time they've done it for this man. There was, the two challenges before where he's, humping the air or the dirt while trying to accomplish something in the challenge. It's what is the...
I'm going to be honest. This was the first thing that registered like that to me. I did
Oh,
not.
well, you have not been keeping up with the group chat then, my friend.
No. Well, I mean, look, you're an expert on being horny.
Thank
so
you.
This is your wheelhouse.
Thank you. I've never felt more seen. This was a fine challenge. I think it's fun when they do the challenge. I think it's fun when they do the challenge. People from Survivor.
It's fun when they do the challenge.
I think the snake challenge is fun. It did feel like cheating when they just stuck the ball between their shoulder and their neck, because he specifically said use your head to move the ball. Whatever, it's not worth it.
Hey, I mean, if it was cheating, he could have told them to stop doing it, and he didn't. So
That's true.
that's on Jeff.
I think this was fine. Jeff calls it one of the most difficult Survivor challenges. Oh, no, not one of the most. One of the more difficult Survivor challenges. I found that odd because aren't all of them one of the most difficult? Isn't that his whole thing?
I guess. I don't know. Jeff just says things sometimes, you know?
It really does feel like that. So Sam wins it for him, Kyle, and Rachel in one attempt of rolling the ball. Pretty good stuff.
That was pretty sick. It was pretty sick.
I was pretty happy with this. I like all three of them.
Yeah, I was rooting for him, and it was neat to watch. It was cool because Kyle and Rachel were both. You could tell that they were on the right track, and they were just not quite getting there.
Mm-hmm.
And then they managed to pull it off. And then Sam coming up and just hitting a home run on the first pitch was pretty cool.
He was really good this challenge. The other thing I really like, because I feel like he was just he was watching them and seeing how much they had to give it and whatever. And so by the time he got up there, he was able to do it no problem. The other thing I really liked that he did this challenge was when it was him in the middle and then Kyle and Rachel on either side of him. And at the last second, he was like, Rachel, switch with me. It's it's going to make more sense if the smallest person is in the middle of the two bigger people. So her ball doesn't, go all over the place or whatever. Pretty quick strategy. I would not be mad if Sam won. I would not be mad if anybody won at this point. So I guess that makes for a good season.
This cast.
Huh. This is such a weird season because the cast is very likable, but there's
This is
so
the
much
thing, though, right?
shit
Is that
that going
they
on.
can't they either have a season like they can't have a good cast and good production.
Yes, they can though. They've done it so many times.
Not recently. Of late, they have not been able to do that.
Yeah. I started doing my rankings this weekend of all of the seasons ever. Man, ranking the new era is so fucking hard. It's so hard to remember what each individual season is because they're all just so all over the place. Anyway, at the sanctuary where good things happen. Oh, was this the episode also where Carolyn said at the same time as Jeff, sanctuary where good things happen? Perfectly in sync with him.
It might have been.
It was pretty good. The sanctuary. Okay. Sam tries kiwi for the first time. He says he likes pineapple more. What do you think? Kiwi or pineapple?
I agree. If I'm eating like a raw fruit, I would prefer a pineapple. I will say if I'm eating some sort of artificially flavored thing,
Mm-hmm.
I like a kiwi flavor better than a pineapple flavor.
I agree. I like kiwi okay. I don't love the texture of it. I like pineapple. I don't love the texture of pineapple either, but I like the flavor enough that it makes up for it. But
Kiwi has the texture of cooked pineapple, which I hate, but
mm,
raw pineapple, good.
yes,
Like the texture, love the flavor.
very refreshing, very tasty. Um, I love a strawberry kiwi flavored drink though.
Oh,
That
it's the
that
best.
shit's so good.
Do you ever drink the salty Gatorade? Do you ever drink the Gator Lights that they have?
No, I have not had that. What is that? Why is that
It's
one?
like it's like a Gatorade version of like a Pedialyte or whatever. It's
Oh,
for like a
okay.
more so I call it the salty Gatorade because it has more salt in it than regular Gatorade. But they have a strawberry kiwi flavor of that. That's
Mm,
very good.
I'll have to try that out next time I get hungover. Um, okay. Sam tries kiwi for the first time. Jeff failed to mention that it was ice cream cake at this sanctuary visit. This was pretty great. What's your opinion on ice cream cake?
I think that it promises more than it delivers, but I think as an every once in a while thing, it's fine.
Okay, say you're playing Survivor and you haven't eaten in 6 days, and Jeff Probst offers it to you, and it's a surprise.
If if it was if I was told I was getting a cookies and cream cake and it was a regular cookie, I could choose for that to be a regular like cake that is flavored that way or an ice cream cake. I'm picking the ice cream cake. So for that specific cake, I think it would have been the better option.
I think that cookies and cream as a flavor is a lack of commitment. Like, what do you mean cookies and cream flavored? Cookies and cream is already its own thing. It's not a flavor. You can have cookies and cream with anything, right? Do you mean Oreos?
I'm really not fond. I mean, cookies and cream ice cream is just ice cream with Oreos in it. Like, what are we even talking about
Yeah,
here?
why? Why did you do that? I guess is
Because
my question.
it's good.
Yeah, you make a solid argument. Kyle recognizes Gabe as a threat, which sucks because they were friends, remember?
Yeah, this is both of them. They're bummed about it because they like each other and it has a lasting effect.
This was
But you know,
really
eventually.
this was really the episode of friendly
Or, sorry, they
breakups.
bonded strongly. I was using the wrong thing. They bonded
Yes. Yes,
strongly.
they bonded strongly, of course. Just as Genevieve and Teeny did, and they had to have their little breakup. Sad stuff all around.
Yeah, the Saul blindside definitely had a lasting effect.
Oh, I can't wait to talk about Saul this episode. Okay, Rachel wants Genevieve out because she knows she's on to her. Rachel and Genevieve is a rivalry I can't wait to see more of moving forward.
It's really interesting because it has just been kind of simmering beneath the surface. There's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
like stuff that I'm interested to see how it pays off. In the like, because Caroline is kind of like that, where it's like, when is she really? She was kind of starting to make her move here, but when is she like really gonna assert herself? Because you can tell she's been waiting for the right moment.
Yeah, I feel like I would not be upset if it was the three of them in the final three because I feel like they've all had sort of similar I don't know, edits or whatever, but like, yeah, like you said, they're all just simmering, and you can
They're not taking each other. This is not. These are
no.
these are three people that are playing too assertively. They're not going together.
Here's the thing though. What about an all women's alliance?
Oh man, well the guy's got to worry about that.
Yeah, I know. I'm worried about it. Back at camp, Andy pulls Sue to build a Final Three alliance. I mean, I said this weeks ago that it would be the two of them and the third person, and the third person would win. Now that I'm seeing it on screen, I don't buy it's going to happen. I think Andy's going to
No,
go
I
out.
don't either.
One of them is going to go out before Final Three, I think.
Yeah, I think they're both a little too chaotic. I did like that he was like, she's a perfect player because she plays with her emotions, and I was like,
No, that's bad though.
that seems. Well, I was like, I think that seems kind. Well, no, he was saying I think it allows him to like control her, and it makes it. But I was also like, that's a little sexist to be like, oh, she's so emotional. And he showed the montage of her talking about Kyle, and I was like, you know what? Maybe Andy has a point.
Her saying how many times do we have to hear he's poor is so fucking funny.
This is literally just because he voted for her one time.
Yeah.
And it is like on site with her at this point.
It's so funny. Gabe is worried that Kyle is going to turn on him. Correct. Sam forms an outcast alliance with Andy and Teeny to take out Gabe. Another great move from Sam this episode.
Yeah, I mean, this was. I will say it's a smart group because they know who the threats are. I mean, everybody has, I think, properly evaluated who the biggest, bigger threats are at the moment. It's like, Gabe and Genevieve are playing a little too aggressively, and they're making themselves a little too visible, and people are ready to make a move.
I feel like that's so many people this season. It's like, oh, how much longer can they play like this before somebody takes them out? But we're closer to the end than I think we realize. It's like, I think there's only
I'm honestly shocked it took this long for anybody to target Gabe. There was never really a serious attempt to get him out before this.
I know, right? I guess he was playing a good social game. I don't know. Teeny doesn't want to be too trusting, though, because their relationships have always been a kryptonite in this game. And then they do a very dramatic shot of Genevieve before the commercial break. How about that?
Look, there is some good editing stuff in this, but these episodes are a little over-edited. I think they need to tone it down like 20%.
20%? No.
10%.
3%. That's my negotiation. That's my edit negotiation for toning it down. Teeny says their relationship with Genevieve now feels like they went through a breakup, and we have a very vulnerable talking head with Teeny about their identity. I don't know, Thomas, did you have any shit to say about this moment?
I'm gonna be honest with you. We were getting way too much pre-challenge stuff, and I may have skipped this on accident.
Wow. You missed the most important scene from the winner of this season. It was a good scene. It was a nice scene from Teeny. Everybody's favorite.
I will go back and watch it.
A nice sceney from Teeny.
We love Teeny.
Obviously. Then Teeny's bag lights on fire. Did you see this?
I don't think I saw this either.
Okay, Thomas. Tell me Teeny's story leading up to this episode.
Does Teeny have an especially coherent story? I mean, they've just kind of been bouncing around from personal relationship to personal relationship.
And then Teeny's bag lit on fire, and they grabbed it and were like, oh no, but this is my game reborn. Like a phoenix does in books?
Okay.
Phoenix rising from the...
Sure.
Teenix!
I know.
Call them Teenix from now on.
I don't think that this is I don't think that there's much of a story there, even with the bag lighting on fire.
Oh, okay. Excuse me for recognizing a phoenix in literal narrative fiction when it happens in real life. This guy thinks that books are just for books. No, books are for reading and then implementing into your
Books
real life.
are for real. Books are for
Books
real.
are for real, though. Hey, how come there's never... Hey, Jeff Probst, actually, this is a real question. How come there's no challenge where they get books as a reward? And now you get to read while you're on the island. A real book that's fun and interesting and kills a lot of time. They would love that.
Jeff Probst has to have a book, right? He has to have a book.
I don't
book
know.
that he's put out at some
Does
point.
Jeff
They should have
Probst...
had. You get to read Jeff Probst's book. That's what they should.
Oh,
have
you're
had.
saying did Jeff Probst write a book? I thought you were saying does Jeff Probst own a book?
No, I'm saying did he write one? I'm saying did he write
Let me look
one?
it
And
up real quick.
Then he would sign it. Also, you'd get a signed
Yes.
copy of his book.
I hope so. He has written books, actually. He has written a book series called Stranded. I totally forgot about this until right now. It's about children who get stranded on a deserted island. And it's not
Oh,
Lord of the Flies.
I bet that you could get these at book fairs.
I bet you could if we, Stranded series. Oh, from Penguin Random House. Was that two different distribution companies at one point, and then they got together?
Yeah, I have to assume that they merged.
Yeah. It's also at thriftbooks.com. So it had a 4.7 store rating. Okay. JeffProbst.com. Stranded is a non-stop adventure if your kids love Survivor They. And then it cuts off. So Stranded by Jeff Probst. You can read it on if you ever win that reward challenge. Ooh.
I think we all love Survivor They.
Their name is Teeny.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're talking Teeny. We're talking who's the other recent non-binary contestant?
Evie.
Evie. Yeah, we're talking Teeny. We're talking Evie.
We're talking.
We love the Survivor Theys.
We're talking a couple of people from a couple international seasons. You know, American Survivor's getting around to it. We're not mad about it. At the immunity. Oh, did you see? Speaking of Evie and Teeny, did you see a couple weeks ago? They posted photos of the two of them together, both showing off their top surgery scars.
I think I did see this. I believe this got posted in our DM.
Well, Thomas, I don't know if you ever checked that or not, because I referenced something that was happening in it this week, and you didn't have any memory of it.
Oh, I didn't check it. I only look at it after I've watched the episode, but then I'll go back and look at it. I usually just lurk. I post very occasionally.
Yeah. I feel like I'm top 3 in that group, and I don't know how I feel about that. I wish I was.
You're a vital part of the DM. You're an important part of that ecosystem.
That's not a person you want to be. A vital part of a group
No,
chat.
you gotta have that. Otherwise, when no one would be saying anything, you gotta have people that post consistently.
Honestly, fair, because some of the people that post in that group, I do not agree with their takes.
You gotta have your voice heard.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I did come in with a hot take recently, and people got mad about it. But we'll talk about that in a future season of Survivor. At the Immunity Challenge, they walk up, it's more balls, and somebody says, "You and balls, Jeff, I swear." Pretty funny.
Yeah, Jeff said something at some point, right, where he was like, "Grab your balls" or something like that, and I was like, Jeff,
Come on, buddy.
come on now.
They have to balance balls on a disc. This is also the rice negotiation. Did you want to do your joke?
Wait, he played the rice card? Yes, obviously.
No, he did not play the rice card. This is the rice negotiation. Oh, I guess that is the rice card, isn't it?
Yeah,
I don't know why I thought it was a literal card, the
none of
reference
these-
you were making.
None of these guys went. No, it's a reference to that stupid YouTube proof that I love. None of these guys went to an Ivy League school for
Yeah.
rice negotiations like Angelina did.
Hey, Thomas, why don't you call it a race negotiation? Since you love to do that bit so much.
It's just a
No.
reference to it's just a reference to the stupid YouTube proof. There's nothing. It's not that deep.
Jeffrey requests that 4 people sit out of the challenge to get this rice, and Kyle says no. But what if we all give you our shots in the dark?
This is a great trade. I love that Jeff thinks that they're giving up a lot with this because There's been like one person that's worked for,
Yeah,
right?
one in
The
7
entire time they've
seasons.
had them.
Yeah. Uh, one that worked in like the way they meant it to.
Yes, one that person that was saved by a shot in the
I
dark.
feel like there have been at least 2 other like clever uses of it since, like Rachel's most recently, um, and then somebody else did something, I don't know, a season or 2 ago that was just like in order to keep out of the vote, so they didn't have to like pick a side or whatever. Um, but yeah, like I understand why Jeff wants the shot in the dark, but like it's so rarely hits that I don't know that it's really worth it at this point.
I'm right there with you. I thought this was smart. It is a much easier. You are giving up way more by not competing than you are by giving up your shot in the dark.
Yeah. Gabe convinces Sam to go with it, which makes Gabe feel very good about himself. It's like obviously Sam just recognized that like he couldn't deny everybody the chance to get rice. I was like, that would be really bad for my game.
Yeah, Gabe was just being annoying about it and
Yeah.
then got to claim that he did something.
Jeff really latched on to that, which of course he did. He loves drama. Show should be on TNT. Kyle wins this one. What a surprise. Good job, Kyle. He is Michigan man, born and bred.
Came down to him and Sue. So
Mhm.
it was a climactic showdown, and Sue's not happy about losing that.
You've heard that song, A Boy Named Sue? What about a 45-year-old woman named Sue?
Yeah. And also she hates Kyle because he voted for her one time and he won't stop talking about how he's poor and his
Yeah.
son.
Yeah. Oh, God. This guy, and he has a child. How dare he talk about that? I never talk about my daughter who has type 1 diabetes also. That's what sucks, right? Like, I was so in on Sue because her daughter has the same disease that I do, and her daughter is in her 30s, as am I. And so I was like, oh, we had like very similar experiences. And then she's all over here like, oh, I'm 45 years old. I lie about my age. What?
So look, sometimes you have type 1 diabetes and sometimes also your mom is coach. You know, it
Yeah,
happens.
oh my God. If my mom were coach, that would be a wild thing.
Yeah, I remember there was a point where I think when I made that comparison, you disagreed. Where are you at with Sue as female coach now?
I I don't
I think Debbie is probably still the most female coach,
like
but
yes, Debbie is absolutely who they wanted to be the female coach. I see why you say it, I guess, cuz she is erratic to a
she's
certain
not on that level.
extent.
Yeah, she has a degree. If we're talking like Pokemon evolution,
Yeah.
it's like
Pokemon
first form
evolution, it would be
Sue,
Sue,
second form
Debbie,
coach,
coach.
third form
You
Debbie.
think
No,
you think
Debbie's
Debbie is
fine.
ultimate form?
Debbie is weirder than coach.
Yeah, okay. I guess. I just feel like coach is the epitome of dude who's very into themselves for reasons that other people find weird.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Like, Debbie on Game Changers was playing it up for cameras. And I'm sure Coach was too, to a certain extent. But
Especially the like second time around for coach.
yeah. But I think there is a certain sincerity to Coach that always comes through that I'm not sure is always the case with Debbie. And clearly not with the 45-year-old Sue. Okay, and so what? How old is Saul then? Because he said he was 42. Is that true?
I mean, they could all be lying about their age.
42? How about 40 true? Okay, so at Beckett Camp, they want Gabe out because he runs the Too Cool Alliance. Fine. I think that's fine. I understand why they would want to do that. Gabe is...
They have kind of a voting block with the old Tuku Alliance too, so
Yeah, because of voting blocks now. Here's one thing I never understood. What is a voting block versus an alliance?
Well,
Versus, what's the other phrase they
here's
use
here's the difference, Jake.
previously?
One of them, they wanted to have a Jeff wanted to have a thing to talk about at a tribal council, so he just latched onto one thing that Fishbach said one time,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then that, and you could tell it was a really durable concept because they've definitely used that phrase again since then.
Yeah, I think I've probably mentioned in recent weeks that RL and I've been watching through Second Chances
What a season!
during our chronological rewatch for me and first watch for her. Um, and yeah, they're referencing voting blocks a lot this season. And I was like, oh, that's right. People used to talk about this all the time. It's been, what, 10, 15 seasons since that's been mentioned?
They don't do this every season, but it's a thing that they do often enough that because my frame of reference for it is voting blocks, I always go back to it where they'll have a thing that they push as a narrative for each season.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very annoying every time they do it. And the reason that we're talking about it is because I think maybe the most annoyed I've ever been about it happened at Tribal Council.
Yes, we will get to that shortly. But first, we got to talk about all of these things that happened before. Okay, wait. Where were we? Oh, we were still talking about the Tuku Alliance. Man, God, they have so powerful, 4 of them, and there's only 9 people left. That's pretty good numbers, actually. Okay, Gabe is feeling great about Tuku's chances once they get to the final 3. This felt obvious, right, at this point?
Yeah.
He tells Carolyn that he, her, and Sue will be the final 3. So now Carolyn wants to work with Andy and Teeny. She wants Gabe out. Okay. Yeah.
It's smart. She is positioned as like the third person in that alliance. So
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like in WWE right now, right? Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill were tag champs together, and maybe still are. I don't know. And then Naomi came out as like their third person, right? And then Jade Cargill got injured very seriously, and this.
Didn't she get hit by a car a not Jade Cargill?
And the theory is that Naomi is the one who beat her off of the roster. Is that the proper phrasing?
Yeah, I guess so. I'm
to
always
take her
saying that.
to take her place in the big 3. They call themselves
It's
the
kind
big
of
3
like
now.
loyal to the soil, and that it's a thing that I've said a lot and am still saying and continue to say.
Remember the big 3? Remember the big 3 from one rapping like a year or 2 ago, whenever that all started.
It's actually Big Me.
Yeah, exactly. But then also there was like
I thought it was weird that they took offense to that because Kendrick was just talking about his favorite Foo Fighters song.
Oh my God. There was also the big 3 back in Miami Heat days. What was that? 15 years ago now?
Yeah, and the original big 3 was the Boston Celtics in 2008.
Oh, sure. So now big 3 is in WWE. Call them WW3. The way Russia's talking about nuclear weapons again.
So anyway, Carolyn's leading the new bloodline, and
Carolyn split from the new bloodline. There's a new bloodline.
Carolyn hit Gabe with the Samoan spike, and
Sue came in with a steel chair and hit Sami Zayn in the back. Oh, Sami Zayn's back in the bloodline, by the way. No Sami on this season, though, so we can't even fucking talk about it. Remember the 19-year-old Sami? Oh my god. We got to do a Blood versus Water season with 19-year-old Sami and 45-year-old Sue, and they could be an alliance together. Do you think that's a good idea for a season? Blood versus Water, where people told similar lies during their season.
yeah, we'll put that at the very end of the list that we have. Every time that you do this, I'm just like, yes, we'll put this at the very bottom, and we'll get to it.
Yeah, we'll get to it one day. One day they'll cancel Survivor, and we'll have to do it all ourselves every week. Like
I'm gonna
Mr.
be
Beast.
95 years old and be like, oh, what was this? I don't remember this.
Okay. Rachel says, hey, what about Genevieve? Cool. Rachel approaches Kyle about voting Gabe, and he worries about losing Gabe as a meat shield.
I think it's a reasonable concern.
Yeah. I understand where Kyle's coming from, but felt like the tide had turned already, and they were just being a chill bro to Kyle. Being like, hey, do you want to be in on this? Because you probably should be. Rachel doesn't want to be the captain, but the ocean. She says, I am the ocean now. Remember from that movie?
I liked this. This reminded me of last year with the national champion University of Michigan Wolverines football team. Apparently,
Go
there was
Blue.
a point where in the offseason, Jim Harbaugh took the team up to Whitefish Point to go to the like shipwreck museum there and
Cool.
played them they would like get hype to the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, and one of their players was like, yeah, well, like the way that we think about it is like we want to be the lake in that, like that's we're the lake.
Oh my god.
And so I think having lake mindset is good, and I think having ocean mindset is even better.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I want lake mindset.
It's a championship. It's a championship mindset.
Yeah, I'd rather have Kendrick mindset though. Mustard, remember?
Yeah, that's already. I love that that's already been. Yeah, isn't it great that something can be funny for 2 seconds
Yeah.
and then it's immediately co-opted by brands?
By
Anyway,
the second
everyone get on Threads. Everyone get on Threads. I love how many brands are on there.
by the second reference to Mustard, I said, I'm over this, whatever it is. I hadn't even heard the song. I actually don't think I've heard the song yet. But that's
It's fine. I would. It's not like the best song on the album or anything,
Wow.
but yeah.
Genevieve is now regretting giving up her shot in the dark. I feel for Genevieve in this moment. I don't know that I'm rooting for Genevieve, but I like watching her play.
I'm torn because I feel like every time that we switch to people on this season, I'm like, oh, I do kind of like them though.
Yeah, exactly. Kyle tells Gabe that it's him or Genevieve. Good guy Kyle. Genevieve is suspicious because nobody's talking to her. I like this. I like Genevieve pointing out when things are weird. I like Genevieve.
What did Genevieve?
This is my
do you
take.
Have the
Genevieve
I do
is
too.
good.
I do too. Did you have the Genevieve quote where she was like, "This is like the least confident I've been at this point in the game"?
You know, before I called you, I meant to look over my notes to see if I had written that down because I really appreciated her saying that. Because when she said that, I was like, oh, I think she's going to be okay then.
That's what I thought too. I was like, it'll be crazy if she gets voted out after saying that.
Yeah. There was a very fun interplay, too, of the talking heads between Genevieve and Gabe saying basically the same thing. I really liked that. Both of them being like, I'm very nervous about tonight, but if I make it through, I think I'll be okay. It's like, well, only one of you can be right. It's good. Once again, editors doing a good job on Survivor.com.
I was pretty hyped. This was building up to what I thought would be a very interesting tribal council.
Well, before we have to talk about that, we have to talk about these wildlife shots. Okay, we had a snake. Obviously, we had the orb weaver spider known as Andy. We had a heron eating a fish. Once again, 47, nothing new. Like, I understand that Fiji is a finite place, right? There's only so many animals that live there. But it feels like we keep getting the same 3 every episode.
They hate wildlife. They don't like it.
Yeah. Jeff Probst's
And that
clearly
wasn't always the
anti-wildlife.
case. That used to be different. Anytime we watch an old season, I'm like, man, they love wildlife, and they should.
Yeah. Gabon, they spent a whole 17 minutes just staring at an elephant, and it was great. Africa, they spent a whole 25 minutes staring at a lion that was going to eat them. That was great. Oh, here's a fucking heron again for the 16th time this season. Get out of here, Jeff. You've ruined my favorite segment. At Tribal Council, Sam talks about things shifting, and they talk about building community. Did you love this?
You know, if they had talked about it for like 2 questions, I would have been like, just latching onto this and pushing it a little too hard, that's fine, but whatever. They do this every year. We'll just get through it, and then we'll get on to something more interesting. And instead, every single question was centered around this dumb fake thing.
Um, and also they never asked any questions about 30 Rock or The Office or Parks and Rec.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's like you're focused too much on the one show, and I
Why are
like
we not talking about happy endings? Like, what are we doing
yeah.
here?
And how come nobody's mentioned Rick and Morty?
Don't trust the bee in apartment 23, not even brought
Oh
up
my
once.
god, that was crazy because that was such a funny show. I want to say that was a funny show, and then I think back on it, and I was like, I think I watched the first episode.
I think it's one of those ones where I thought the pilot was fine and then I didn't watch it again and I heard from people that it was funny.
Yeah, it's Kristen Ritter, right?
Yep, I think Eric Andre was in that too.
Oh, nice. I like him. I like both of them. Um, Kristen Ritter, famously related to John Ritter,
I don't think that she's actually related to John Ritter.
famously
I think you're
related to
thinking.
Jason
I think you're
Ritter,
thinking of Jason Ritter.
Jason Ritter's sister, who is their father was John Ritter,
And Jason
and
Ritter famously on Parenthood, another TV show that they didn't bring up.
yeah, why didn't they bring up Parenthood? Well, I guess Kyle did. Ugh, how many times do we have to hear
Yeah,
that
he won't
he's a
shut up
parent?
about it.
I never talk about my diabetic child. Jeff asks about the rice negotiation and everyone losing their shot in the dark, but Sam not wanting to. Who cares? Whatever, dude. I don't care at this point. Sarah's wearing a cute yellow dress with teal trim, which is great. But more importantly, Saul is wearing the hottest vest of all time.
Talking about Saul's dumb leather vest, where he looks like he's in the Warriors.
I thought he looked great, and everybody loved it. Again, missing
No,
out on the group chat. Everybody,
it's a strong look for him, but
it's
I
a
think it's
very
kind
strong
of
look.
It's like something that Vin Diesel would wear.
It was the kind of look where I thought, why weren't you wearing this the whole time, Saul? You look so good.
Well, don't they not get to pick their own clothes for? Doesn't production pick that?
Yeah, but like that outfit is so strong, you would think somebody on production would be like, we need that in
We
our
need this guy.
show.
I think that people would have too. I think you would have too strong a first impression of someone if they were wearing leather vests to start.
Honestly,
If someone
that's a
came out
very
like
good
Stone
point.
Cold Steve Austin, I think you might have some strong opinions about them.
Stone Cold Saul, fuck, what's his last name?
Stone Cold Steve Solston.
Stone Cold Steve Solston, sure, whatever. Says whatever. Who cares?
Oh my God! Speaking of wrestling people, I'm sorry. I just had this Michigan Virginia Tech game on in the background, and Scott
Okay.
Steiner's son plays for Virginia Tech.
Braun Breaker?
No, his other son.
No, okay.
Which
I was
is
like,
a
oh, he's
huge
pulling
heel
double
turn because
duty?
You know where Scott Steiner went, to the University of Michigan.
I've told you time and time again, I don't care about college. Gabe says after getting voted out,
You are the opposite. Oh my God! Evil Asher Roth be like, I don't care about college.
I am literally the opposite of Asher Roth, and I didn't care for it, and I kept trying real hard. Asher Roth, on the other hand, went, I think, for one semester and loved it, and then never went back. Which is a really cool thing to do. Gabe is voted out 5-2 over Genevieve, and he says, I'll be back. And Jeff says, it's time for you to go. Very funny. I'm usually not a fan of him saying it's time for you to go, but in this moment, it was very funny.
It was funny for him to do it in that moment. It was a hater move from Jeff, and I like that. I will say, I think that there's a good chance that Gabe comes back at some point.
Do you think it's more likely that Gabe comes back or Rome comes back?
Probably Gabe.
Wow. Rome for On Fire, the worst name podcast of all time. I'm fine with that. Did you see on Bluesky, Stephen Fishback, famous Survivor player, after Gabe said, I'll be back, somebody posted a picture of the Terminator, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Stephen Fishback then posted a screenshot from the running man of Mr. Family Feud himself, Richard Dawkins, saying only in a rerun.
Richard Dawkins is the new atheist guy. You're thinking of Richard Dawson.
And it was also Arnold Schwarzenegger said only in a rerun. No, it was
good.
Richard Dawson.
That's a pretty good bit. We like the running man around here, as evidenced
it's a good
by
movie.
A consistent part of this podcast.
I mean, yeah, obviously it's the intro to the show, but
You know what Jeff said? He is Sub-Zero now, plain zero.
mhm. um, I always think about whenever the Running Man comes up, which is I would argue every 3 to 6 months in my life. Um, I'm like, oh, I would love to watch that movie, but I just watched it for the podcast, and then I remembered this week. That was 2017. That was January of
It was
2017.
a
That was
long
almost 10
time
years
ago.
ago.
Donald Trump was being inaugurated for his first term.
Oh, yeah, cool. It's so cool that he's the second person in history to take a break between being president.
Yeah, I've always said he reminded me so much of Grover Cleveland, so this seemed
Yeah.
inevitable.
Because of the orange cat. Wait.
You're thinking of the wrong children's character.
Or the wrong president.
Both, actually.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about these points. You, of course, had 32 points last week. Rip Hamilton much? He was 32, right?
Yeah, he was 32. Yes, sir. That's what I have to say to that.
Speaking of wrestlers, did you see that? And speaking of people with Rip in their name, Rhea Rip Lee is wearing the face masks.
She's wearing face maps. That's cool.
She's wearing face masks, the one to watch for old Detroit Pistons games. Okay, I had 30 points. Who wore number 30?
Rasheed Wallace did the first year he was with the Pistons, and then he changed to 36.
You got a point for Kyle surviving. Oh, great job. You said Genevieve would win the award. I would say Sue. Neither happened. You said they would get letters from home. Did not happen. I said chocolate, which of course did happen because it was a part of that cake.
I think that's a stretch.
I think you're a stretch.
I think that's a stretch.
Armstrong.
It's not chocolate. It was cookie pieces. I think you're full of shit on this one.
That's the way.
I am cookie pieces. What about it, huh? You were just talking about how much you hate cookies and cream.
I don't hate cookies and cream.
Yeah,
I just think it's a lazy flavor choice.
It shouldn't exist.
Like, there's so many flavors in the world these days. You're gonna just just throw some shit in your shit and call that the flavor? No, get the fuck out of here. I made a nutmeg pasta. That's not anything. You gotta combine it and make highlight the flavor, whatever.
One of the
I made vanilla ice cream with Oreos in it.
Like 2 ingredients in it is ridiculous. You ever had olio e olio? It's literally just oil and garlic. It's great.
Yo, cacio pepe is one of my favorite pastas, and it's literally just salt and pepper. Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah, it's one of the best.
And cheese also.
Yeah, you got some fucking cheese in you. I'll tell you what. At the immunity challenge,
the main ingredient in that is pecorino romano. What are you even talking about, bro?
I thought the main ingredient was pasta, but what do I know? I'm not a fucking chef.
The sauce. Oh my god. Arguing with a child.
Thank you.
Every time I argue with you, I feel like it's very relevant now that with the whole Wicked thing happening right now. I feel like the Wicked Witch of the East, bro.
The one who came down in the bubble.
Yeah. Are you gonna tell me I'm wrong? By the way, we are holding space for Survivor, and I think people are feeling a lot of power with what was it was like the community thing. What was the community thing that they were saying?
Community contributor. I don't know.
Yeah. I think that at that tribal council, they were holding space for community contributions, and I think that people were feeling a lot of power with that.
Yeah. The next thing was immunity winner. You said Sue, almost, but I always said Kyle, and it was actually correct. So I got a point for that. So Kaylin would be voted out. I said Kyle would be voted out. Neither of us were right. You said Outback Steakhouse would be the product placement. Didn't happen. I said Outback Steakhouse is competitor Applebee's. Didn't happen yet. So you now have 33 points. I have 32 points.
I've got Grant Hill points. You've got Richard Hamilton points.
I'll take it. I'm not mad about that. Maybe I should get a maybe I should get an NBA 2K game, Because you can create your own teams in that, right?
Yes, you can.
So could I create like a Pistons team that had like Rip and Sheed and Ben and Tayshaun and Mr. Big Shot and also Bill Laimbeer and Isaiah Thomas and also Grant Hill
They
and
basically already have that because they have all-time rosters, but also Rasheed Wallace has
oh
not
nice.
licensed his likeness to the game, so he's not
Oh,
in
good
it.
for him. Well, that's okay. If I can get the rest of them. And NBA Jam, is that still happening?
No.
It sucks.
I was just complaining about how they haven't done that or NBA Street in a long time.
Yeah, it's about time they bring that back. They're bringing back backyard baseball. Did you know that?
They are, and
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of if there's one thing that college football 25 proved, which I think is on track to become the best-selling sports game of all time. There's some old games people want back.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I mean, I say this every week, but I'm still playing Skyrim.
Yeah, that's
I'll
the problem.
finish.
That's the problem. It hasn't been released on enough platforms. It's just so
Yeah.
hard to get Skyrim for the thing you have.
Well, yeah. It for a long time I would get like 3 missions in and then it would be time for a new system update. Then I get the new system version and no, I'm up to about a mission every 2 to 3 months that I'll complete and then I'll be like, "Oh, what happened to my horse?" And I'll go to one of the stables and be like, "Oh, my horse was here the whole time."
Not to get too far into video game corner talk, but are you ever gonna get Baldur's Gate? That seems like something you should have.
Yeah, once I finish Skyrim.
Oh my god.
I know. I was thinking about that because, like, it does, it is kind of the same setting as like a classic D&D game, Skyrim, and also Baldur's Gate.
It's like, what if Wizards of the Coast knew how to have a fun combat system? That's how I would describe it. What if combat was fun? What if Wizards of the Coast knew how
no.
to do that?
I think the fun of combat is that you get a break every 5 minutes because your friend is taking too long during their turn. Isn't that the entire purpose of the
What if
game?
there were
Dungeons
clearly
and
drawn
Dragons?
maps and you didn't have to look at the
No.
spell book every 2 seconds?
No. Boring. 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 I like how long it takes in real life, in person. Who's winning the next
You
reward?
can even do that though, because you can just play like a local game with people, and then they can take
Ooh.
forever to make decisions.
I do like that. I love waiting for other people to do things. Like you telling me who's winning the next reward.
Next reward, oh my god. Well, I guess I think that I'll say Sue
Pulling
is
up
going to win
now.
reward.
Because that's what you said last time.
I said she was going to win immunity.
Whatever. I'm going to say Teeny. I'm all in on Teeny this week. What's the reward going to be? Be.
It seems like it should probably be Loved Ones challenge should be coming up pretty quick here, right? Was there? I didn't
I don't
watch
know
the.
now.
I didn't watch the next on.
Okay. Speaking of the group chat, be sure to mention that in the group chat. People love to know when you aren't watching the previews.
Okay, well I'm not.
You got 8
So
people left. Okay, I know you hate to converse. Okay. What's the reward? Oh, you said loved ones? With 8 people left? I guess that tracks. If it is loved ones, I hope they do that challenge where they have to pull a rock out of a burlap sack and hope that it matches their loved one.
yeah, that'd be cool.
That would be good. I will say Sam wins reward. Did I say that already?
You said Teeny was going to win a reward, and then you didn't say what you thought the reward was going to be.
I think the reward will be a date with Schomburg Sam. I'll say, barbecue. Barbecue.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. That felt weird coming out of my mouth,
That's
but
fine. That's an acceptable answer.
thank you. Who's winning immunity?
I'm going to say Kyle makes it 5. 3 and up, Kyle needs 5.
Yeah, Kyle. I agree. I am also going to say Kyle. And who's getting voted out?
I'm gonna say that Sue is getting blindsided.
Wow, with her idol too.
Idol, she's going home with an idol in her pocket. That's what I'm saying.
What is this, Survivor 46? I'm going to say, you know what? I'm betting on Kyle again.
So
Kyle's going out.
you're hedging again. I hope you continue to fail in
I
both
have
phases
to.
on this one.
I didn't fail in him winning immunity, though.
That's true.
If he's not winning immunity, he's getting voted out. That's my take.
That's
FSC
probably
waiting
true.
out. Outback Steakhouse or Applebee's is coming around. It's a 1-point game at this week. Okay. Thomas, this week we heard, well, most of us, maybe you didn't, but most of us heard Teeny talk about coming to terms with their sexual identity and gender, and we also saw Saul's vest at Tribal Council. So, can you tell us the name of this week's host quiz?
So nasty that it's probably somewhat of a travesty having me. Then he told the people you could call me your majesty.
How dare you? Finally, an answer to the question that's been puzzling you all this time.
This is a good question. This is a good quiz. This is by Scott Bryan,
so
who's a
this is
BuzzFeed
where
contributor.
you put your
Tom Phillips,
you
BuzzFeed
put your
staff,
hand up
UK.
to your face, and if it covers your whole face, that means that you're gay, right?
Yeah. Hey, who hit me? Okay, so sexuality is a spectrum. This is not news to you, a modern and informed person of the 21st century. Are we still there? But you clicked on this quiz, which means one of two things. You know how you identify and want to see if this quiz is legit or full of shit.
We're not reading this whole thing. This is so long. There's like 3
You're not
paragraphs.
super sure. I'm literally at the last sentence right now. Or you're not super sure how you identify. Either way, you've come to the right place.
Scroll down.
Oh, there's
a whole
more.
nother
There's still
paragraph.
more. Oh, yeah, we can skip that part. Okay, choose a color. Red, blue, pink, yellow, lilac, green. Why lilac and not purple? That's my question for
It's one of the
quiz makers.
colors in the flag, I guess. I don't know. I'm picking blue.
The only colors in the flag are red, white, and blue. What the fuck are you talking
Oh,
about?
I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm picking lilac, obviously. I would pick purple, but they don't have purple. Pick your favorite Beyonce song. I know you said you're not the biggest
Single Ladies
Beyonce.
anyone's favorite Beyonce song? What are we doing here?
Yeah, it's the favorite song of all single ladies.
They don't even have
like
Love
their
on
anthem.
Top on here. This is fucking bullshit.
Yeah. Flawless, Single Ladies, Run the World, Drunk in Love, Crazy in Love. To be honest, I'm not into Beyonce.
It's Crazy in Love. If I'm picking from these ones, it's Crazy in Love.
I'm picking Drunk in Love. It's been my favorite since it came out.
You know what? This is a safe space. Yeah. I don't love that song.
That's fine. You don't have to. I like it because it's a little corny, but also good.
Surfboard.
Genuinely. Surfboard.
I'm more about
Do you enjoy
rocking handles like Van Exel, if you know what I mean.
Sure. Do you enjoy consensual sexual experience with or feel sexual attraction to members of the same sex as yourself? Yes, all the time, quite a bit. Yeah, what? Now and then, hardly ever, never.
I'm gonna say never.
I'll say now and then. What city would you like most to live in? New York, London, Paris, San Francisco, Tokyo, Moscow.
I mean, to live in, I probably have to go with Concrete Drungle.
Where? Where was it?
Concrete Drungle, where dreams are made of.
You got it. Yeah, that's it. That's good. You know, I actually did just update my passport, so I could actually go to any of these cities. I just remembered.
I think it'd be really cool to visit Tokyo, but I just think the language barrier would be tough.
Exactly. I feel like London would be really fun. I've never been to England. Paris is nice also. San Francisco, what's her name lives there?
I was just there.
From
it was cool. I
politics?
don't think I would want to live there, though. Yeah, Nancy Pelosi's San Francisco values.
Thank you. That's right. Moscow, no thank you. Vladimir Putin lives there. I'm going to go with Paris because I'm a fancy boy. I love a baguette.
I
is
wish
why.
that you would get immediate feedback from some of these questions because I know that they spent 6 paragraphs saying that's not what this is, but the next one I just love.
What's your drink of choice? Beer, gin and tonic, white wine, cocktails, stout, whiskey.
Gin and tonic, and I'm just imagining it being
Yeah.
like, you're fucking gay after I picked that.
Yeah. Gin and tonic's such a good drink, though. I'm also
it's the
picking
best.
gin and
It's
tonic.
so good.
Like,
I mean, if I don't want to think about
it's
what I'm
so
getting,
simple.
it's the easiest thing to pick.
like it's the illusion of choice, right? Is like you're often get so overwhelmed by choice. You know what's a good choice every time? A gin and tonic. You can't fuck it up. Fuck that up, though, that burp. Okay. What is next? Okay, just to clarify, do you like having sex with people of the same sex?
So you're
No,
happy with
really,
yourself that you
no.
picked a really annoying quiz.
Barely, sort of, now and then, quite a lot. I already told you, yes, I do. Gender binaries, what the fuck?
No, really
Or-
no.
I'm going with gender binaries, what the fuck? Because I like to cuss. What's your ideal Saturday night? This is a good question. Thomas, do you love clubbing until 5
I do
a.m.?
not love clubbing until 5 a.m.
Do you love dinner and theater?
No, I don't want to go to the theater, so no thank you.
Do you love quiet drinks with friends?
I don't need it to be quiet, but I mean, drinks with friends is nice.
Do you like doing something new?
Depends on what we're doing.
House party!
I do like a house party.
How about night with Netflix? Night in with Netflix.
Yeah, I like a night in. Netflix. I guess it depends on what I'm watching.
How about a Netflix and chill?
Oh my god.
I'm picking quiet drink with friends.
I guess
I do
I'll
like
say,
quietness.
I'll say house party.
That's fair. I love a house party too. I'm just not 22 years old
I was
anymore,
gonna
so
say,
I feel like
think
out
the
of
house
place.
party. I might actually switch to quiet drink with friends because I'm like, I loved a house party when I was like 24.
Yeah, exactly. Like a house party, really, really fun. I've
Great when
noticed
you're in
as
your
I've
early to mid 20s.
as I've gotten older, that has become less and less frequent in my life. Like a house party now is 12 friends sitting around a dining room table.
It's true.
Ooh, hang on. Have you ever felt sexually attracted to someone of the same sex? Nope. This one time, yep, a bit. Quite often, actually. Yes, I have, obviously. Your questions are weird. And this is two men sitting on a mountaintop. The picture.
These are such weird questions. No.
So
They're
weird.
getting the nope from me.
Oh, Jordan Peele over here. Let's say this one time.
This quiz is gonna.
I feel
I
like-
like the idea that this quiz just auto generates and keeps going. Like if you don't say that you're gay, it's just like, are you sure?
Are you sure? What was that quiz we did several weeks ago where it was just the same question over and over again and we quit after like 10 questions?
Yeah. They're doing the Voight-Kampf test. It's like a turtle is flipped
Yeah.
over on its back. Why aren't you flipping it over? Why are you gay?
Which U.S. president, this is a good one for you
Ooh.
history buffs. Which U.S. president do you most identify with? Barack Hussein Obama, William Howard Taft, Ronald Republican Reagan, Abraham Gay Man Lincoln, James
Abraham Lincoln.
Buchanan, Abraham Lincoln. That's pretty funny. I've never heard that before. Or John Fitzgerald Kennedy.
So Buchanan is on here because it is widely believed that he is gay, or was gay, I should say. I think. He's also a very
Abe
bad
Lincoln,
president.
too.
So gay people can be
Oh.
complicated.
I forgot this list is a bunch of good presidents we've had.
I'm gonna pick William Howard Taft because I also don't want to be president.
And because you got stuck in the bathtub that one time.
Yeah, I agree with him that it would be better to be a Supreme Court justice.
I'm going to pick JFK because I would love for Marilyn Monroe to sing me happy
You would love
birthday.
to get shot.
Thank you. I would. And what is your favorite root vegetable? Carrot, Jerusalem artichoke, potato, sweet potato, ginger, or beet?
You know what? I'm gonna.
Beats Battlestar Galactica,
Oh
remember?
my god.
Oh my
So
god,
funny.
Survivor beats
I'm
Bears
kind of.
Battlestar
Who
Galactica.
from The Office are you? I'm kind of Toby sometimes, but sometimes I'm an Oscar. But not in that way for this quiz. I know that's a trap.
Yeah. Oh, good one. Good call. I'm gonna say potato.
I'm gonna.
What is this, root vegetable?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw a curveball, and I'm gonna say ginger because I like ginger in a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm
I'm
not mad
drinking a
about a
Dan
ginger
Verner's
ever.
right now.
My man loves a ginger. If you could pick an ideal partner for your romantic date, what qualities would they have? They'd be the same sex as me. Preferably the same sex, but mostly, hot. Don't care about their sex, only care about wine. Ideally the opposite sex, but it's no biggie. They must be the opposite sex. You hear me? Or dates are boring.
Dates are boring.
Oh my god. Ideally the opposite sex, but it's no biggie, is my answer.
I said I picked dates are boring. I'm tired of saying the same thing.
And pick a weather phenomenon. Remember? Brat Summer,
Fucking long
Chapel
is.
Roan.
How long is this?
Not gay. Okay, flooding, little fluffy clouds, sunshine, tornado, ball, lightning, pretty big rainbow. Big pretty rainbow. It's a pretty big rainbow over there.
Pretty big rainbow. I'm gonna go ball lightning. That's pretty cool.
Obviously, I'm picking ball lightning. That shit rules. I like lightning that's just like, I'm not even going to bother striking. I just got a lot of energy and I need to get it out right now.
Jake, why did you include pornography? Did you do this so that you could send me porn so that I would see these bare
Yeah.
bottoms?
That's exactly why I did that. Yes, I wanted you to see some butts. Which sex is sexiest? Same sex as me, duh. Mostly the same as me, but hey, all sexes are sexy. Opposite sex wins just. Oh, if you want to listen to Just, it's on patreon.com. Opposite. Stop being sexiness. Stop being a sexiness fascist.
which is what I am picking.
Okay. I think opposite sounds like the name of a Netflix movie I'm not going to watch. What's that movie? Bodies. That's the one I'm thinking of. All sexes are sexies, obviously. All sexies are sexy. All sexes are sexy. I disagree with that. I think all sexies are sexy. I'm really tired.
Well, you picked
Pick an arbitrary
4-hour
box.
quiz. I wonder why you're getting tired.
Box A, box B, box 3, box 4. This box, screw your boxes.
I'm picking this box.
I'm picking screw your boxes. You know what I mean? Okay. Oh my God. A plane leaves New York at 4:15 p.m. local time, bound for London, traveling at 500 miles per hour. Another plane leaves London at 9:30 p.m. local time, heading in the opposite direction, traveling at 550 miles an hour. If they maintain constant airspeed, do you ever want to have sex with someone of the same sex? Wait, what? Yes, for fuck's sake. Still yes, you cannot trick me with maths puzzles. Yes, back slowly away. Awkward wavy hand gesture. No, storms out of the room. This quiz does not represent me at all. Oh, I guess what Thomas is going to pick.
So if you're thinking about community, whatever what was the thing they were saying?
If this is about community, have you built your community? And who wants to stay in your community?
Who do you want to have sex with in the community, and what sex are they?
Why don't they do a sexy Survivor? Only hot people who are all single and they get distracted by sleeping with each other. I guess that's a different show, but
yeah. So I picked the storm out or one or whatever, and my result is not gay, just like Connor for real. And you know what? But if I was, I would want equal rights.
I was like, who is Connor for real again? Yes, of course, the
One
pop
of the
star
best
from
lines
Pop
in that
Star.
entire movie is just the talking head of Ringo Starr going, he's singing the song, talking about it like gay marriage isn't legal. It's legal.
I'm going to say awkward wavy hand gesture for this one. and it said BuzzFeed quizzes. Sign up to the BuzzFeed quizzes newsletter. Binge on the latest. This is a little bit gay. It says, you are a little bit gay. You really enjoy having sexual experience with members of the opposite sex. Although you wouldn't completely rule out sexual experience with members of the same sex. In general, you are physically and emotionally attracted to people of the opposite sex. But hey, you're open to the idea that maybe the one for you could be the same sex. It's all cool. And then it's a really cool image of the gay flag, and it says a little bit gay. Yeah, fair enough.
Mine has a black and white picture of the pride flag with not gay superimposed over it. Not the same font, but basically like the busted or wasted screen you get in Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, nice. Mine is like a hand-drawn serif font. It's kind of cute. I don't know. A little try hard, but like whatever, you know? Not so much to complain about.
All right, so that took forever. Let's move on from this.
So sorry this quiz took so long. Okay. I didn't realize it would take so long. I want you to know that. It seemed like a really straightforward quiz.
So you just look at the titles of quizzes, right?
No, I look at real quizzes sometimes because sometimes they're just like, pick these fashion choices, and it's just like 4 shirts, and I'm like, this is going to be bad.
Did you look to see how many questions there were on this one before you picked it?
Yeah, but I went through it real quick because I didn't want to bother too much.
This had like 15 questions.
It was 14. Okay, Thomas, what's your limit on questions?
I would say 10 is the most.
Okay. Fucking pop quiz ass over here. Thomas, what's your social media? Everybody's on Bluesky now, finally. We've been talking about Bluesky for
We're over on Bluesky. You can follow me at tom.tom.bsky.social or at tom.tom on X Everything app.
Still on the Everything app. They got everything over there. White supremacists.
Sorry, I forgot to call it the right thing. It's X the Everything app, formerly known as Twitter.
Thank you. Sexual harassers, and also the news. The show's on YouTube at the Compassionate Haters Survivor podcast. What can people comment on YouTube?
Very funny. Smiley face.
Smiley face. That's nice. And let's see. What did our last poll ask? Do you remember?
I don't. I almost never remember what our polls were about because they usually are very half-assed. In a good, fun way. The same way that we do other things.
Not on this podcast, no. So similar to this episode of Survivor, you have to go to our community tab on the YouTube page. Our last poll asks, strong bad, strong sad, strong mad, who you picking? How do you think the votes came out? And did you vote in it?
I did not vote in it. I'm guessing that strong bad probably won.
Strong bad received 33% of the vote. Strong sad received 67% of the vote.
Wow.
Strong Mads received 0.
Strong sad, look, I mean, we got a lot of sloshy fans out there is what I'm getting, but
absolutely.
And sometimes I am also sad because I'm flying.
If you had voted in this poll, I know you hate voting these days. Like, oh, I don't feel represented in the voting. Who would you have voted for?
I think I probably would have voted for Strong Sad.
Yeah. He's the best one.
He is. It's a tough choice because I do think Strong Mad is kind of underrated, but
agreed. Strong Bad's the face. Strong Sad is the ego. Strong Mad is the super ego. Strong Bad is the id. Strong Bid. Okay, whatever. Shut up. What can people vote on this week for this week's poll? Kiwi Pie. Kiwi Pie.
Running on empty over here. Kiwi or pineapple? Who you got?
Is that not what I said?
That's basically what you said. And you could have a third option of I haven't had either of them.
Good. To vote, you go to youtube.com/the-official, youtube.com/official haters survivor podcast /community. Easy to remember, and everybody loves it. or just subscribe to the podcast. We've received 3 new subscribers in the last several weeks. Maybe 3 more, and we'll do more wildlife shots. Australian Outback is coming up. It's going to be wild, the wildlife shots. We have a few shows on Patreon, which you can find on patreon.com/justpodcasts. Do you want to shout any of those shows out, Tomas?
We already shouted out Just, so I will reiterate that.
Yes, Just. We just talked about the Radiohead song, Just. Patreon.com/justpodcasts again. Thank the fans.
I'd love to thank listeners and subscribers. Thank you for listening and subscribing.
And Apple reviews.
This is my favorite podcast. I like it better than all the other podcasts. I give it a big thumbs up. 5 stars only, please.
And you can write that anywhere they do podcast reviews, including the YouTube comments even. It's for the algorithm. The algorithm loves to interact with the content. Anyway, we'll be back next week with the next episode of Survivor 47. Oh, and are we going to be in the same place? Are we going to be in person for that?
We might be.
We might be. Because it's Thanksgiving weekend. So thank you for listening, and have a great summer. Button here. Okay. Look, we've got a long night ahead of us.
Okay.
I don't know what that means.
That's
Just saying there's not a lot of time to dilly-dally.
alright, let's get into it then.
Alright, let's get into it then. Are you copying me? That's a joke for only me. Alright, do you want to say anything else that's funny before we start the episode officially?
No, I think we gotta save it for the main episode. You don't want to
save it for the pod.
You don't want to run out of gas right at the beginning there.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god.
Smarten up, probes.
One guy, big Mo, 2 guys, little bitty Mo, 3 guys, 4-eyed Mo, 4 guys, no Mo, 5 guys, eat Mo, 5 little guys named Mo.
You want to remember 5 guys?
You know I do.
So, reminder: these are Survivor or sports in which Tom West. Oh wait,
okay.
no, sorry. Yeah. What were you gonna say?
I was just saying okay.
Okay. Um, this is another themed episode, of Remember Five Guys. I guess Remember Five Guys is episodic now. There's a theme amongst these five guys. Excuse me. Boys is, part of the gender binary. Guys, everybody's a guy. I think of what's the burger show from all that called? Good Burger.
It's Good Burger. Hey, remember when you said that we didn't have any time to dilly-dally?
Yeah, I was lying.
It's a classic lie from Jake.
Anyway, everybody's guys. He's a dude, I'm a dude. She's a dude.
We're all guys, yeah.
We're all guys, except for Jeff Probst. Jeff Probst is anti-guys, which is fucking stupid. Okay, anyway, first guy, Thom Westman, your namesake.
Thom Westman, I believe, is a Survivor player. Was he the firefighter?
He was a firefighter, yes. Or when people talk about you, they call you Tom West Michigan.
That's right. They do call me that.
How about Ozzy Lush?
That is also a Survivor player.
Well, is he famous?
He's been on a lot. People know him.
That's accurate. How about Mike Holloway? I don't know if you know this guy.
I think Mike Holloway is also a Survivor player. I don't know that I'm familiar with him, though.
Why is he famous?
I don't know.
How about Colby Donaldson?
Okay, so these are all Survivor players is what I'm getting here.
So far.
Did all of these... Well, no, Ozzy's never won. Were they all on, like, Survivor All-Stars or something?
I believe only one of these five guys was on Survivor All-Stars.
Okay, well, who's the fifth guy? Colby Donaldson won Survivor... Was it Australia?
I'll never say, but we are about to watch that one this winter, so get ready. Final five guy.
So isn't Colby the one that took the piece of the Great Barrier Reef and isn't allowed?
Famously, that's what he did. He's also a member of Survivor Outback. Nope. Wild West. Fuck. I knew it was like on a desert place where they spoke English as a native language.
Why would you remember the name of the thing that you wrote?
It was several years ago now. I can't remember. 5 minutes ago. Fifth guy. Five guys. God, Thomas always dilly-dallying. Terry Dietz.
Terry Dietz is also a Survivor player.
And have you been able to figure out the theme? I'll give you a hint. Five guys is related, and also it relates to this episode of Survivor, the show, Survivor 47.
So Five Guys is related.
Mm-hmm. More specifically, the number 5.
Oh, are these all the people that have won 5 immunity challenges?
These are all the guys
Kyle's
who have won
on
5 immunity challenges in a single season. Yeah.
Yeah, Terry's the guy from Gabon, right?
Nope. Terry's the guy from Panama.
Oh, I'm thinking of Bob. Did Bob not win 5? I could have sworn he did.
I guess when you think about it, winning the game of Survivor is kind of the equivalent of winning 5 immunity challenges.
Yeah, he won. I just remember him winning a lot of them, but maybe he only won like 4.
I think he might have gotten 4.
It just felt like that.
I feel like that happens a lot, where it's like, wow, what an immunity beast, and they didn't even meet the record. The record apparently is 5. Let's see if Mr. Kyle can get to 6. That'll be interesting.
I mean, I'm rooting for it. You know I am.
Yeah.
I got a stake in this. And not just because he's from Michigan.
I got a chicken thigh in this. I got a pork loin in this.
He's always talking about his damn kid.
Oh my God.
Won't shut up about
How
his
many
damn
times
kid.
do we have to hear about this man's kid? That was so fucking
And
funny.
the people back home that he likes.
Yeah. Oh, boo-hoo. He's a family man. Get out of here. That was so fucking funny.